I started my career with Bharat Petroleum, and after that, I worked in Bharat Petroleum for about 3 years, and then I moved to another couple of European MNCs, and presently I'm working with a company called Fleshman Hillard. It's into marketing and public relations, and I head the finance for their India operations. And so so mostly my roles have all been into finance kind of roles, not really towards compliance and more of commercial flavor, right? So they had all of them had a lot of commercial flavor in them, not typically what chartered accountants would otherwise do in financial reporting, audit, internal audit. And those have not been my domain. Although some element of this, I would say about 10-20% of my roles did involve coordinating with internal auditors, statutory auditors, but more the majority of the portion has been towards commercial side, like contracts, pricing, costing, profitability, all those things, right? So not typically what otherwise chartered accountants would aim for. And to some extent, these are the roles which are given to MBA finance in many companies, right? So and my interest had always been in these kind of roles, whichever role was closer to the business, right? And I was not a very big fan of taxes right from my chartered accountancy days. So I used to run away from roles which are involving any taxes. So to some extent, finance, commerce, that has been my domain, right? Yeah, I mean, to start with the session, first of all, thank you, Bhavna, for inviting me. And it has been a great series. I did attend yesterday's session on MBA, a whole lot of information in there. And I'm sure many people are finding this very valuable, right? And to start with the session, first, and let's do one thing. I'm going to cover a few points specifically about MBA, about some general career tips as well of how things pan out when you actually start your careers, right? So let's spend about 5-10 minutes on that, and then we can deep dive into any specific questions that the audience has, right?
Okay,
So
works. Yes.
right. So first of all, adding on top of yesterday's session, if you guys get an opportunity to do that MBA, full-time MBA, 2 years full-time MBA from any of the top 10 or top 15 B schools in the country, definitely go for it. If your talent permits, if your pocket permits, and if your time permits, please go for it. There's nothing, no way comparable to that, right? So always you should remember that if you get that opportunity, or if you are aiming for those kind of top B schools, MBA from top B schools, then definitely go for it. Always remember that it also comes with an opportunity cost. Like I had mentioned, that if 25 lakhs is the fees for your MBA, and probably you have to forego a couple of couple of years of your salary, and let's say hypothetically your salary is 10 lakhs per annum, maybe you're losing another 20 lakhs. So including the opportunity cost, your MBA is going to cost you about 50 lakhs or so, right? And having said that, if you do not do your MBA from the top 10, 15 B schools, what we are talking about, you might again start with 8-10 lakh salary itself, right? So that's the average pay which other MBAs have, right, from other B schools. So if you are able to manage to get into those top 10, 20 B schools, then that would be great. Like Bhavana mentioned yesterday, that the average pay package in those B schools have been just above 20 lakhs for most of them, right? So it becomes that easier, right? The second point what I want to say is that don't think very linear in terms of your career, right? Like for example, CA है तो 10 lakhs का पैकेज मिलेगा, CA plus MBA तो 20 lakhs का पैकेज मिलेगा, CA CFA MBA रहेगा तो शायद 30 lakhs का पैकेज मिलेगा. It's not that straightforward. Industry never thinks like this, right? Industry never thinks like this, and it's not that linear, right? And roles in the industry side, or any job for that matter, right, are decided basis the need of the business, right? I can guarantee you that there is no single profile for a fresher which asks for both CA and MBA, right? And the reason for that is, even if you complete your chartered accountancy or any of these professional courses, right, it's only a fraction of your academic knowledge that you actually use in your job, right? For example, when I started my career after chartered accountancy, right? So chartered accountancy has 8 exhaustive subjects, accounts, audit, tax, indirect tax, direct tax, information technology, all of these 8 exhaustive subjects. You read a whole lot of books struggle really hard to clear that chartered accountancy. But when you join the job, okay, probably I was able to use only 10% of it. And the reason being that when you join a very large company, your profile is going to be very small. Let's say you join accounts receivable team as a team leader, in which case only your accounts receivable aging or that kind of a knowledge is going to come into play, and all your accounting standards and taxes and TDS is going to take a backseat for a few years. Not that they'll not be useful, they might be useful at some point in time, but just don't expect to use everything in one go at one point in time, right? So similarly, even if you acquire an MBA after CA MBA, doesn't mean that you will get to use 100% of what you have acquired in both these qualifications in one go, right? Some things you might use in your first year or second year. Some things you might use after 5 years down the line, right? So you never know when that knowledge will come to help you, right? So don't think very linear. Okay, if this is the if I get 2 qualifications, then I'm going to get a better job and better pay. If I get 3 qualifications, I'm going to get even better job and a better pay. It's not. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way, right? That's the first point. The second point is that you know career success for anybody for that matter is not just dependent on degree. Degree is probably 5%. It holds 5% weightage in your career success, right? Once you start your job, right, your degree will start slowly taking a backseat, and it's your skill sets, your attitude, your understanding about the business, and how you perform in your job will start taking prominence, right? Today, nobody asked me, accounting standard 18 mein kya tha? I don't know. I don't remember also, right? It's about how I am solving my business problems, in my current role, how am I solving my business problems, right? It boils down to that, right? And if you look at my career graph, everything has changed than what I had studied. Like 10 years ago, I had studied accounting standards. Now it's India's, right? I had studied excise duty and service tax. Now it's all GST, right? So similar, I had studied management information systems. Now it's completely different, right? Some other information technology. Now you guys have elective paper, which is international taxation. We had no clue what international taxation was, honestly, right? So everything has changed since that, but doesn't mean that you will get outdated, because you always keep acquiring new skill sets, and depending on your experience and your business problem solving skill, you always keep progressing. Academics will start taking a back seat at some point in time, right? So it's always the combination of degree is your entry ticket, right? Degree is a must, and it's your entry ticket. Any good qualification like a CA, CPA, CFA, MBA, whatever it is you are planning to get, it's your entry ticket into the corporate world. Once you enter into the corporate world, it's combination of 4 things that's going to define your career success, right? One is your degree, like I mentioned. Second thing is your skill sets. Third is your experience, and fourth is your habits, right? All these, the combination of these 4 elements is going to define your career success, and not just your degree, right? Don't think if you are a CA and start working for 3-4 years and have a certain set of pay, right? And the moment you acquire an MBA, आपका pay बढ़ जाएगा, you'll double your salary. It doesn't work that way, right? People will also ask you, what was your experience? What was your contribution in your previous job, right? How did you, what are the what top key problems did you solve in your previous company, right? So all these factors are also important. All these 4 things, like I mentioned: degree, your experience, your skill sets, and your habits. All these 4 things are a combination for your career success. So you should always keep working on all these 4 elements, and not just degree, right?
Dhaval, I have a question.
Yes, yes, please.
I'm Suchita. I'm an MBA Finance from
Yeah.
Singhangad College, Pune. I've already had an introduction with you, I think some days before. So
Right.
I just wanted to know, like, I have a gap, for example, like I was working in Capgemini in Pune. So it's been like 6 months I'm not working. I've left the organization because of some reasons, some personal reasons.
Yeah.
So how it's been like 6 months. So how this gap will affect my employment into my further company, into my ongoing company in which I will be trying. So
Right.
because I heard that the gap, if there is a gap in the experience, in the previous experience, then the company, like, there is a lesser chances of getting selected from the company.
Right. So very specific question. So I'll briefly touch upon it because I don't want
Okay.
to spend too much time on this right now. We can definitely
Sure.
discuss offline.
Okay, sure.
First of all, some companies are there which which are very particular about this gap, right? Otherwise, there are plenty of companies who welcome returning mothers or somebody who has spent time or taken a break to equip themselves with some higher qualification, right? There are so many companies which welcome these people as well. So it's always a mix. And uh, like I said, if I was the hiring manager and if somebody comes to me with a gap but has the proper skill sets and experience that I'm looking for, and somebody comes to me, the other candidate does not have a gap, but he or she is not having the right skill sets or the experience that I am looking for, you still stand a chance. You still stand a chance, right?
Okay.
So it's not that gap है तो problem है, ऐसा नहीं है, right? Many people can have career gaps because of various reasons: family, health, marriage, parenting. There could be a number of issues or reasons why people can have career gaps, right? And many companies are receptive towards it as well. It's not that some companies might be very particular, but more or less, many companies are very receptive if you have the right skill sets and the qualification, the experience.
Yes, true. Thank you.
Okay, the other point which I want to touch about is that, to some extent, I have always adopted this approach for me that, if somebody told me, okay, MBAs can do this and CAs cannot do this, my challenge was कि नहीं मैं सिर्फ CA करके ये करके दिखाऊंगा. If somebody told me कि MBAs can land FP&A kind of roles easily and CAs have to land only compliance kind of roles like internal audit, financial reporting kind of roles, then my challenge was, no, I'm going to land an FP&A role and show it to you, right? So it has always been my mindset that with my CA, why can't I land those roles? I have the right skill sets, I have the right knowledge. Now I'm going to crack the interview. I know how to crack the interview. Right? I'm going to land that role. So that has always been my challenge. If somebody told me that CFO बनने के लिए you need CA plus MBA, my challenge is कि नहीं सिर्फ CA करके मैं CFO बन के दिखाऊंगा. That's has always been my attitude towards career, and I've always taken it as a challenge. And to some extent, I'm lucky enough to land those kind of roles, which are mostly commercial kind of roles, which I wanted to do, right? And so that should be your approach. So if just don't take in a very linear way कि अगर आपके पास ये नहीं है तो you cannot go after a particular role. You can go after that particular role, right? So do the right set of networking, prepare well for that interview, and you can still try and approach that role as well. For some people it may take 6 months. For some people it take a couple of years to land their desired role. That's fine. That's completely okay, right? It's not a race. You don't have to be right here in first attempt. It's okay, right? So that's about my approach. And coming to the topic, like, to what are the alternatives to MBA? To some extent, I was always in this dilemma that when I started my career, I thought about it many times that should I quit my job and go for a 2-year full-time MBA? Will it be beneficial? Of course, it will be beneficial, right? Of course, it will be beneficial, no doubt about it. Like I mentioned, if you are able to land those top 10 B schools, then definitely it will be beneficial, right? But what happened was, since I worked with very large companies, okay, what happened was that I started working with somebody who was recruited from IMT Ghaziabad. I started working from somebody who was recruited from IIM Kolkata. I'm working with these guys on a day-to-day basis in my company. So when I observed that, okay, yeah, I mean, these guys are there. I'm working with them. They are dependent on me for some of my skill sets. I'm dependent on them for some of their skill sets. It's working fine, right? So what additional thing can I get by doing this MBA? I never was able to figure out an answer for this, right? When I'm getting all those managerial kind of roles or business management type roles without an MBA, then why should I invest in doing an MBA, right? So if you so what I would recommend is that, like I mentioned, if you have the talent and the pockets to go for the 2-year full-time MBA, go right away, right? No doubt about it. But if you don't have, if you like if you're like somebody like me who was not willing to invest, or that opportunity cost was coming to probably 60-70 lakhs at that point in time, and I was not willing to invest that kind of money, right? So then there are always some hacks available. If you can land those kind of roles which otherwise MBA finance would have landed, like for example management consulting, right? Many people aspire to go to BCG, McKinsey, all these popular roles. What happened was, when I was working with Bharat Petroleum, McKinsey
Hello?
was our consultant. Sorry. Yeah, so
Yes.
McKinsey was our consultant. McKinsey was our consultant, and guys from McKinsey used to come to our office and ask me questions, and I'm giving them answers, right? So that made me realize that, okay, okay, I'm working with guys from McKinsey, so that does not mean that, I need to go to McKinsey. I'm getting my experience right here, right? Some people, like for example, have this think mergers and acquisitions. Very interesting field. Sounds really fancy. Okay, mergers and acquisitions. mein jana hai. Okay. I had an option to get into mergers and acquisitions at some point in time, but I did not accept that role due to a number of reasons. And then finally, I joined Bharat Petroleum. Later on, after 5 years down the line, I was working with a company which took over another company, and I got to work on mergers and acquisitions. I got to work on that integration of that company into this company. So I got a little bit of M&A experience as well. So even if you think that you're missing out on something, right now, there are ways, or you might still end up getting that experience even with the job that you have. Even with the job you have. When I was working with Bharat, I got to work with McKinsey. When I was with the other company, I got that mergers and experience. Right. So it's not an end. It's not an end that if you don't have an MBA, it's not an end as an EA. Right. So there could be a number of options. If you land the right kind of roles and start getting that experience, that MBA can be substituted with your experience. Right. That's number one. The other thing is that coming to talk about alternatives to MBA. Okay. So first of all, like I mentioned, top 10, 20 B schools, honestly, no alternatives. Right. If you can land those, go for it. If not, then if you're looking for some hack, like how, I've always been a hacker, I like to hack the system and try and get some alternatives, right? So now these days, to some extent, 10 years ago, all these were not available as an option, okay, for professionals. But these days, many of the B schools are coming up with certificate programs, like for example, 6-month certificate programs in strategic management, right? Like how I did accelerated general management program. That was a 1-year blended learning program where we spent some days on campus, right, and some days through live online lectures where professors from IIM are teaching us on screen, right? So it was a 1-year intensive blended learning program, right, where we discussed the same case studies, we discussed the professors were the same, right? Everything was the same, just that it was more intense, and we had to do a lot of work work on ourselves because they used to give us a lot of pre-reading materials and case studies and all of that. And class में they used to never discuss कि हाँ 4 P's of marketing ये होता है. No, that was not the discussion type at IIM Ahmedabad. And they used to always directly attack on the case study. What do you feel about the case study? They used to ask everybody's opinion, and then after last 15-20 minutes, they used to tell the concept and the solution to that case study, right? So that was the approach, and so these options are available these days for experienced professionals. AGMP, that's the Accelerated General Management Program from IIM Ahmedabad. It's available for people who have completed 5 years of experience. There are a number of programs from IIM Kolkata, Bangalore, which are for people with 2 years experience and 3 years experience, all of that. Right? So those certificate programs are good enough. See, for me, I always found it good enough. Like I said, I used to, I landed those business management kind of roles, without an MBA. So for me, I never felt that I was really missing a full-time MBA, right? To me, this hack of getting that certificate program or 1-year blended learning program, for me, it was enough, right? I'm not saying it might fit for everybody. I'm saying for me, it was enough, and it gave me enough knowledge and idea about what happens in other business areas, business functions, right? Again, second option is part-time MBAs. Part-time MBAs are very good option these days. It could be a weekend MBA, or it could be, like twice a week you have to go somewhere for 3 hours or something like that. Right? If that's an option, definitely go for it. Right? All these things what we're discussing as alternatives are only going to supplement your primary qualification and experience. They are not going to be substitutes. Remember always, right? But if, for example, if you are doing your CA, and if you do that full time 2-year MBA from IIM Ahmedabad, let's say, okay, अगर आप CA नहीं करते तो भी चल जाता, honestly, right? ऐसा कोई रोल नहीं है जिसमें CA और MBA दोनों चाहिए, मतलब ऐसा कोई रोल नहीं है, honestly, right? Where they want a fresher to have both these, armed with both these qualifications. There's no role of fresher like this, right? हाँ है तो अच्छा है, maybe you can get an edge in that interview, right? That's how people approach it. That edge in that interview is the primary reason which drives these qualifications, right? But right, so always any other thing like part-time MBA or anything like that are going to be supplementary to your experience and your primary qualification. right? For example, when I'm now in a stage where I'm just transiting into that leadership kind of a role, okay, where my interaction has started increasing with the other functions in the company, like HR, marketing, supply chain, all of those, right? So now that interaction has started increasing, I felt that need. Okay, now I want to know things beyond finance. I want to understand things beyond finance now, right? And that is the time when I thought I started exploring some programs, and I landed at this AGMP program, Accelerated General Management Program. And it was a perfect program for me because they touched upon almost everything from supply chain to marketing to digital marketing to knowledge management to talent management, all those elements they touched upon. And now I am aware that what happens in other departments in the business, right? So we chartered accountants always think we know everything about managing a business, but that's honestly not true. And we have to learn a lot of things, right? So now that program gave me that access to understand what happens in those departments as well. And now when I talk to a supply chain professional, right, I don't feel completely ignorant. I know what happens in supply chain. I know what happens in marketing. I know what happens in digital marketing, right? So now getting things done or getting work done from these departments has become easier for me after doing this program, right? Part-time MBAs we touched upon. Again, there are options like weekend MBAs, right? Go for them, right? Then executive development programs. So many of these top institutes have these 3-month certification programs or 6-month executive development programs and all of those, right? Or even short-term programs. Like for example, let's say there is a 5-day program in IIM Ahmedabad just to discuss about managerial skills, right? Fantastic. I mean, it's going to cost you 1 lakh, but that's inclusive of everything: your stay, your food, your accommodation, plus the course fee, right? And 5 days, they're going to equip you with a whole lot of things about managerial skills. So those executive programs are also very good, and you can go for them after some years of experience. My take is that you should at least do 1 or 2 programs, 1 or 2 of those executive programs every year from these top tier B schools, because that also give you a chance to network with other people, and also it will give you access to those professors who have a wealth of knowledge. They're not just professors who work with academics, right? They are somebody who act as part-time consultants to leading companies in India, right? So it gives you access to those professors as well. So those executive development programs you can think about. Like for example, there's a 5-day program in Ahmedabad about strategic management, right? After about 7-8 years of experience, you need to understand strategy more, right? Strategic management aapko samajhna padega what it is, right? At that time, it becomes very important that you go after these kind of programs, right? See, so your degree will not teach you everything, right? Your degree will not teach you everything. So you need to rely on these programs. Even if you get that full-time MBA, you need to still keep working on these short-term programs as well, right? The other option is company-sponsored MBAs, right? Uh, it is pretty big, and like Bharat Petroleum had uh, a initiative under talent development where somebody was completed 5 years in Bharat Petroleum. They used to give an option to do that part-time MBA from SPJ, right, where they used to allow the employee to take leave of 1 week every quarter and go to SP Jain campus. It was designed that way in tie-up with SP Jain Institute of Management, right? So many companies might also sponsor your MBA or have a similar talent development program similar to an MBA, right? So sometimes, if you're lucky, you'll get selected for those programs, and your company might end up sponsoring your MBA. Of course, there'll be a lock-in or there'll be a bond of 2 years and this and that, but that's okay. I mean, 2 years is nothing, honestly, right? So you can still go for those kind of programs as well. So these are the alternatives that are available, right? And again, if you don't get to do MBA, don't worry. I mean, you can still progress in your career equally better. I can show you so many examples where people have CA and MBA are barely able to make it to the manager role. And somebody who only has CA has already reached the CFO level. Yeah, I mean, I can show you all kinds of examples, right? So, like I said, career success is not just dependent on one element, right? It's a combination of a few things as well. Cool. So, you know, these are some of the points that I wanted to cover and set the tone for this session. I want to keep it as raw as possible and take as many questions as possible, right? So if you guys have any questions, we can Or Bhavna, if you have any questions, then we can start with them.
Yeah, so I think I'll take some general questions first before going for the interactive session. So guys, we are going to have an interactive session today. It will be very raw and very you can say spontaneous. You can come up with your queries in the chat, and if you have any queries that you want to ask yourselves, you can just put a raise hand in the manage participants option, and we'll take you for the queries. So yes, let's take a few generic queries before we go for the specific ones. Now, you talked about certain skill set or certain habits that
Right.
you require in a corporate career. So, what are if I ask you like three top habits or three top skills, what will be your take on that?
Three or four top skills. I would recommend first one is communication. There's no doubt about it. That's always on
Yes,
top. Third thing is
yes,
business acumen. Business acumen. Developing business acumen is very important, right? You need to
okay,
understand how your company is making money, right?
okay,
Third thing would be team management or leadership skills, right? Or people management skills, where because finance is not going to be a lonely job. It'll
hmm,
always involve interaction with a whole lot of people. It could be within your department, outside of your department, external consultants, auditors, internal auditors. There could be a whole number
right,
of different kinds of people that you interact with. So people management skills are again important. Fourth, which I personally prefer. I mean, I have I took personal some efforts to develop this is adaptability, right? Adaptability is where you yourself try and fit into that role. Don't expect your company to take care of everything. Right? You fit into that role and you start contributing, and don't try and fit everything into your chartered accountancy syllabus.
right. Um, Hello, the video is hello.
Right? So you have to adapt yourself into that role and perform better.
Okay. Okay, great. Now, in the beginning of the conversation, you mentioned that, as a fresher, you never wanted to land up with the core audit or taxation role. So you kind of took your path towards more roles or
Yeah,
business finance roles. So if
yeah.
people want to know that, how you take the path to those kind of roles, and what all you require in terms of courses or in terms of again, I'll talk about skills. I think skills are more important here. What
Right.
is your suggestion on that? I mean, how to take that path? How did it go for you?
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
So yeah, I missed your last sentence, but I got the question. I got the question.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, so if you are somebody who after completing CA are not interested in these traditional things like audit or internal audit or taxation or even accounting for that matter, okay, then my recommendation would be to go after business finance roles, right? Business finance, finance business partnering, and FP&A, financial planning and analysis. ये तीन roles हैं जो आपको industry में you can go after, right? And chartered accountants are equally, they stand a chance for these roles as well, right? Just that in the interview you have to prove yourself that you have that analytical bent of mind, right? Or you have that business experience, right? And it can only happen with, to some extent, you have to leverage your articleship experience. Like if you have worked in a what if you have done an audit of a software company in your articleship, use that to your advantage and try and apply for FP&A roles in a software company. You stand a higher chance of landing one, right?
Right.
If you have worked in an insurance company, if you have worked in an insurance company during your articleship days, use that to your advantage. Try and land a role of business finance or finance business partnering role in an insurance company. That's how you have to leverage your articleship experience to some extent to land these kind of roles.
Okay. Yeah, I get it. Now, so many people feel that I am not getting the kind of job I want. But
Yeah.
till the time that I'm getting it, should I go for a role that I don't want, so that maybe 2 months, 3 months, or even 6 months I'll be spending time in a job I don't want, and once I land up a job in my desirable profile, I'll switch. I mean, is that recommended?
That's recommended. See, to some extent, what happens is that we have very limited visibility as a fresher, right?
Right.
So when we are going to audit for audit to a different company, like let's say I'm going for audit of Wipro, right? I'm statutory auditor of Wipro, and during my articleship days, I'm going to Wipro for auditing. Right? I have only visibility of those roles which interact with me, like financial reporting. Right? Financial reporting is the only role which interacts with me as an auditor. I only have visibility of that kind of role. But as within Wipro, there could be hundreds of different kinds of roles where chartered accountants are hired and they are commercial in nature. It could be functional consultant, right? It could be a pricing kind of a role. Like there is a role in Wipro, it's called business finance manager, right? Which is solely involved in pricing of contracts to your customers, right? So they are closely coordinating with the sales team and the engineering teams, and then they find out what are the resources or the man hours required, and they compute pricing and then come up with the pricing for the bid that they are going to do, right? So that's a different kind of a role. So like this, there are hundreds of different kinds of roles, right, within a company that are commercial in nature, which are not visible to us during our chartered accountancy, right? So be open-minded about accepting any kind of a role. For example, um, there is a role called financial management in Accenture, right? So many people don't know what it is, right? And it's about maintaining client profitability, client contracts, make sure that your invoicing is done to the client, right? And it's a very important job to say, right? And a third of client financial managers report to the VP, and the VP directly reports to the CFO, because we want to make sure that every client is profitable, right? So it's a very important role. Again, a commercial role. Again, chartered accountants are accepted in these roles, right? So to some extent, whatever role you get, I would recommend that for the first couple of years, keep an open mind towards it. Don't try and fit it into your chartered accountancy bucket. Everything is not going to be audit or TDS or accounting standard or something like that. It's not going to be that way. Yeah. And finance का मतलब ये भी नहीं है कि every now and then you'll start computing in PV and IRR. Okay, well, that's all theoretical. That's nice. Ratio analysis. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. But be open-minded to take up any role that comes your way, and try and learn from that as well, right? Try and learn from that as well. The reason why I'm telling you is that because we have very less visibility, we think that the most popular misconception is getting into global shared services or these Deloitte USI type companies. It's going to be it's going to be the end. इसके बाद हम बाहर निकल पाएंगे या नहीं? That's the biggest question which many people have. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. You can come out. You can come out, right?
Yeah, I think that's a mentality that popular masses have these days, but it's very important to break that first.
Yeah, just keep an open mind, learn from it. I think a lot of questions have come up, Bhavna. Do you want me to take them one by one from the chat?
Yeah, I think we can start taking those questions. Okay, so yes.
Okay, how to get into management consultancy with a CA degree? Again, you start applying for roles on their websites like BCG, McKinsey. Start applying for roles on their website, or find some connect. Like find some of your seniors or alumni, or talk to them. Take help from people how to crack that interview. There are many CA rank holders who have cracked interviews in BCG, McKinsey, and Bain and Company, and all of that. Right? Get in touch with them. Get in touch with them on LinkedIn. Network with them, and try and seek help as well. Right? Just don't be too blatant about it. Hi लिखा और next sentence में बोला कि can you help me get into BCG? No, it's not going to happen that way, right? So try and connect with these people, okay, so that they can end up helping you, right? You can do MBA or senior, okay.
So,
Okay, so some people have asked me about some particular universities. What is your view on that? Guys, you'll have to research yourself as to which university is there these days on in the top 15, 20. I'm not very updated with that, right? So you guys research on them, and anything which is in top 10, 15, you can definitely go for it. Which is the best part-time MBA in India? I'm not really sure, right? Again, you'll have to go for it. But I think IIM Indore or IIM Lucknow has one good part-time MBA. It's going to cost, I think, 15, 20 lakhs, but still that's a good one, which is only conducted on Saturdays, Sundays. But again, that is for experienced people. It's a 1-year executive MBA for 5+ years experienced people. That according to me is the best so far. And what are the qualities of a person?
Uh,
Yeah.
a couple of people asked this question, and I think this is important to address here. So, when we talk about executive programs or certification courses with these top institutes, do they add as much benefit as an MBA would add in terms of, you can say, package, and also you can say that do you learn those kind of skills which you would have learned otherwise in an MBA college, like taking a full-time course in both aspects?
Yeah. See, there are some limitations with them, right? They can never be equivalent to a full-time MBA, right? So let's get that straight, right? So they'll never be equivalent. But again, to some extent, it also depends on how you can take benefit of that program. Like for example, in like I mentioned, I was doing this AGMP program, and it costs about 7 lakhs. And somebody asked that question as well. It costs about 7 lakhs. All right, it's an accelerated general management 1 year blended learning program. When I was doing this program, there were 110 participants from 90 different companies. Okay, some of them had come just for certification. They had absolutely no interest in understanding what the professor is talking. Right, so they had just come background में बैठे रहेंगे, किसी केस में पार्टिसिपेट नहीं करेंगे, किसी क्वेश्चन में पार्टिसिपेट नहीं करेंगे, उनको बस वो पेपर लेके जाना है you know? अगर वैसा अप्रोच रहेगा तो आप कहीं से भी कर लो कोई भी डिग्री, या कुछ आपको यूज नहीं होने वाला है, कुछ आपको यूज नहीं वाला है, right? So these executive certification programs, to some extent, the onus is on you how best you want to extract out of it. Right? For example, in our center, I was in Mumbai center, and we had formed a study circle within Mumbai. 8 of us, very sincere guys, we used to always get together on every Sunday and discuss the case studies, share each other's experience. Somebody was working with a software company, somebody was working in international sales, somebody was working in Mercedes, right? So we used to always share our experiences, and that used to add to your knowledge as well. It's not just that what is written in the book is that's going to increase your knowledge, right? It's also the experience that you get from the professors, from your other students as well. So all that put together will add a lot of value, right? Always look at it in terms of that. So again, like I said, the onus is on you how best you want to extract out of it. I used to get involved in every presentation, every case study, 100% active participation in everything that is being conducted there. Then you are able to pick up your best learning out of it. And अगर आपको piece of paper चाहिए तो वो भी possible है, but don't expect the benefit out of it.
Okay.
Yeah, to answer your question, again, there will be limitations. There will be limitations, but with your experience and the sincerity with which you want to learn from this program, that combination can work in your favor. Like every CA again will not have the same level of experience. Somebody will have more managerial experience and less compliance experience. Somebody will have more compliance experience and less managerial experience, right? So again, everybody's career will be different, right? So it depends again how you want to take benefit out of this program.
Right. So, do you suggest going for these kind of courses after work experience, or immediately after clearing CA would be also fine?
After work experience, at least 3 to 4 years of work experience, right? Because that is the time when you really figure out what your interests are, right? So some to some extent, I've always been a fan of getting additional qualifications after some work ex, right? You never know your direction. Like many people start CFA immediately after doing CA. Why are you doing CFA? Because everybody else is doing, or because you think it will give you an edge. What is that edge?
Right.
What is that edge? Can you define that edge? Nobody can define that, right? So to some extent, I would say that spend 3-4 years in the corporate, thoda sa dunya dekh lo, what you like, what you don't like. You can find some interesting roles. Once you start working, you'll find some interesting roles, or you might find some persona which you want to, or a mentor. You think, okay boss, this is the guy I want to be after 10 years, this is the role that I want to aim for in the next 3 years. Yeah, you'll find some interesting things when you start working, and then you can build your qualification to achieve that role, to get that role.
Right. Okay. I think,
Yeah, so part-time programs, executive programs, definitely after 3+ years of experience.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. So, guys, do you have any good questions?
Yeah, I'm just going through the questions. I want to go into managerial role, but before joining MBA, I want to get some work experience. Yeah, so I mean, work experience can be anything, right? It may be managerial, it may not be managerial. If you're lucky, you'll find a managerial role at the start, right? And if you're not, then you can still get that work experience before joining an MBA Okay, and to some extent managerial experience can also be learned by observation, right? When you join a job after your chartered accountancy or any of these qualifications, it's not just that you're learning from your profile. अगर आप अकाउंट्स रिसीवेबल कर रहे हो तो सिर्फ अकाउंट्स रिसीवेबल नहीं सीख रहे हो आप, बट आप समझ रहे हो कि कंपनी कैसे चलता है, हाउ दैट इंडस्ट्री इज ऑपरेटिंग, हाउ योर मैनेजर इज बिहेविंग, हाउ द वीपी और द सीएफओ इन योर कंपनी इज बिहेविंग, देयर लीडरशिप स्किल सेट्स एज वेल. उनसे आप ऑब्जर्वेशन से भी काफी सारी चीजें सीखते हो. ये सब भी आपको एमबीए में काम आएंगे after that experience when you start those programs.
I think Durgesh has asked this question, and it's a good question. That did you leave your job while you were doing your course at IIM, or you were
No, I
still?
did not. Like I mentioned, it was a blended learning program where we spent there were 3 visits to campus.
Right.
One 4 days in the 4 days at the start of the program, then again 4 days in the middle, and 4 days at the end of the program. And rest of them were through live online lectures at NIIT centers. So there is you have to go to NIIT centers because they allocate a team as well. Like you have to work in teams for some of those assignments. So you have to go to NIT centers, or there's another company called Jaro Education, right? So you either go to Jaro Education Center or NIT centers where the professor comes live and he discusses the pre-reading material given, case studies given. It's pretty much the same. You can ask your questions, right? And the experience is much the same. Yeah, I mean, I did not leave my job, and it was a blended learning program. But some days we spent on campus. Campus is amazing. If you get to do any course there at IIM Ahmedabad, please go. Even if it's a short course, like 3-4 days, please go and experience the campus. It's amazing.
And also, like, I'm also curious about this thing that how do you select which kind of course would you want to go for? There's a plethora of options available, right?
Right.
So if
Right.
like someone is a little skeptical about what they want to pursue in the future, what is the best way, or what are the factors they would want to consider to choose the best course for them?
Right. See, again, it depends. It depends on your interest and what area do you want to aim for. Like for example, I was always a big fan of the straightforward climbing the corporate ladder, like manager, senior manager, general manager, VP, CFO. So I was always a big fan of that, right? So which means that I always observed what the GM finance or the VP or the CFO has done, and what I used to decide. But again depends on the nature of your, for example, if you are into business, if you are in a business finance kind of a role, then maybe MBA or a general management program will help you do that. But if you are in fields like equity research or investment management, portfolio management, all of that, maybe your CFA is much better equipped to support you with your job as well, right? So uh, what I'm trying to say is that once you get that 3-4 years of experience, more or less you'll get that clarity of what kind of a role you want to go after, or what kind of a work profile that you want to go after, and then decide upon your course. Then decide upon your course that, okay, does MBA fit into this? Does costing? Maybe somebody may have extreme liking towards costing. 3 साल उसने costing या pricing kind of a role में काम किया, and he or she might find really costing as their interest, and maybe you can go after uh, you know um, ICW or a CMA kind of a role, right? CMA kind of a qualification, right? That might stand your in your work area as well.
Yes.
So it's a combination of your work ex, what kind of a role you want to take, okay, plus what kind of a role you want to aspire for. What are you aiming for?
Yes. Shubham has asked this question. How can you justify yourself in an interview unless you have the degree for a particular role? Because after a while, you can't do that. You need some kind of backing. So, how can alternative programs justify? I mean, I think he's,
No,
yeah.
so like I mentioned, like when you are going for any of these blended programs, right? It's always going to be your experience plus this blended program that is going to help land your next role. Like for example, now I have chartered accountancy, 10 years of experience, and this program from IIM Ahmedabad. Okay, plus there is an experience which is there, 10 years of experience which is there, right? So, right, a combination of this will fit into the criteria of the recruiter. if somebody is looking for, let's say, a FP&A head who has understanding about business, 10 plus years work experience, you know, MBA or equivalent from a top tier institute, right? Bang, I'm fitting in that criteria, right? So it's always the combination that's going to work, right? So you have to back your experience along with these certificate programs, okay, and show that you have been leveraging it in your job. Show that you have been leveraging it in your job, and then you can land that next role, or you can be authentic about it.
Right.
Like if I have not done business management kind of roles in my experience, just that piece of paper is not going to help me in my next role, right? So it's going to be always the combination of your experience plus the certificate program.
Right. Okay.
Is the 1 year blended IIM course the same as 1 year MBA? No, it's not. 1 year MBA is not the same. I mean, 1 year MBA is again a full-time role, okay, where you have to go through that process of CAT and everything, right? So blended learning programs have limitations. It'll never, like I mentioned, it will never be equivalent to a full-time or an executive MBA, okay. But again, for me, it was enough to gain that experience. For me, it was enough to get that knowledge what I wanted, right? So everybody has to assess their own need. If you feel that you need to go for quit your job and go for that 1 year executive MBA, please do that.
Devanshi has asked this question. Will it be smart to venture into HR or marketing field as an intern at the cost of leaving your finance job, since I'm not liking finance at all? So, whether it is worth the risk or not.
It's always worth to do what you like. You know, that's a straightforward answer, right? Even if it means starting at a low salary, or even if it means getting an HR internship at free of cost for 3 months, go for it. Go after your interest, don't leave it, right? And to give you an example, right? Director HR in Bharat Petroleum was a chartered accountant, right? And she had about 30 years experience. She had worked in, like I mentioned, Bharat Petroleum was very receptive towards chartered accountants, and many people there were working from 25, 30 years as well, right? And they have worked in multiple departments. They worked in costing, supply chain, refinery, marketing, and as I grow karte karte, they have reached. Some of them were business unit heads. Some of them, the chairman who interviewed me in Bharat Petroleum was a chartered accountant. Okay, and normally we expect the CEO or the chairman to be from a technical background or an engineering kind of a background, but he was a chartered accountant, spent enough time in understanding the business or business management kind of roles within Bharat Petroleum, and he scaled himself up to becoming chairman of Bharat Petroleum. Similarly, the director HR, again, she was 30 plus years experience within BPCL, knows BPCL in and out, right? So that's how it was easier for her to, take that director HR kind of a role.
This actually brings me to another question. I mean, how wise it is to stay in the same company? Like, I saw your background, you've changed
Yeah,
companies like quite a few
yeah,
times. So, is it
right.
advisable, or is it wise to, change jobs frequently? Is there something like, it does not look good on your CV? Like, is that thing for real?
So nobody said to me honestly that it does not go on CV, right? To some extent, every company has given me a different kind of an experience, right? So Bharat Petroleum was a typical public sector undertaking, government company. It's a different culture, different attitude. The clerical staff who reported to me were probably 45, 50 years old, and हम उनको sir बोलते थे. They report me, but हम उनको भी sir बोलेंगे ऐसा. But everybody, then I moved to a European company, completely different culture. CEO को भी हम लोग नाम से बुला रहे हैं, right? Hey Tony, hi Tony करके, right? So that's how it is. The culture is completely
Yeah.
different. So every company has given different kind of a knowledge and a learning for me. So I never regretted changing jobs very quickly, right? And yeah, but if you are getting different kind of roles within the same company, if your company is giving you different kind of roles every 2 to 3 years or 4 years, if they are able to transfer you to some other department, then stick to it. So that is really helpful. That's really helpful. Bharat Petroleum was that kind of a company which used to transfer every 2 to 3 years. They used to transfer you to a different kind of a department. But maybe I was a bit naive at that time and I didn't know what to do, so I ended up quitting Bharat Petroleum at that time.
Okay.
Now, this Tushar, I think, has asked this. Is it recommended to land up in a company which you dreamed of, but not in the kind of role you wanted?
Hmm. Great question. Great question. See, always it's a combination. Some extent, सब कुछ नहीं मिलता दोस्त. Like sometimes you get the pay, you don't get the desired profile. Sometimes you get your pay and your profile, but your boss is ridiculous, right? Sometimes you get a very good boss, but the company doesn't pay well. It's always it's up to you how do you find that balance. But what my recommendation would be that if you have landed up in your desired company, then stick around for a while. Stick around for a while because the next transfer that you get might be in your desired role.
Right. Hmm. Yes. Palak Binyani has asked that, I mean, it's almost a continuation to this question. How can you switch your profile after having experience in a certain role? Because every recruiter wants you to have prior experience in what
Right.
role they are offering.
Right. Uh, that's a great question.
Yeah.
To some extent, we'll have to look for some common. We have to look for some common threads. Look for some common threads and maybe tailor a resume to that experience as well. And at some point in time, you would have got that experience. Like for example, let's say I have done budgeting and forecasting in my previous role, right? I did it for a manufacturing company. Now I came across a role which is in a software company, and I have to do budgeting and forecasting. The fundamental principles will remain the same. Fundamental principles will remain the same. Just that the business will be different. Just that the revenue line item is going to be different. The cost line items are going to be different. But the fundamental principles of budgeting forecasting are going to remain the same. So you have to look at that common thread as to what is that common experience, fundamental experience that you have got, and then leverage that in the interview.
Right. Okay. I think general queries
Yeah.
are over
Um,
here.
Bhavna, I hope you're taking all these questions which are in the chats. I think a lot of them are there.
A lot of people are asking about specific colleges and courses, which I'm not taking up here because that would
There's
be
one question which says FP&A role about passing accounting entries. No, it's not. FP&A is more about budgeting, forecasting, variance analysis, contracts, pricing, management commentaries, right? So it's about that. It's more commercial in nature. Understanding profitability, product profitability, region profitability, branch profitability, um, you know, uh, all those things. Yeah. So FP&A role is more about commercial in nature. What is your opinion about financial modeling? It's a skill set, my friend. Right? Financial modeling is a skill set, right? So always have this combination of your degree and your skill sets. Financial modeling is a skill set, and it can definitely help you get better at your job. So go for it.
So Harshit asked this, do chartered accountants get edge over engineers in an IIM interview?
Not really. I don't think so. It's very dynamic in that sense. It's not that linear. Okay? अगर ऐसा कोई रोल होता जो आईआईएम में आपको एज देता तो सब लोग वही करते पहले वही करके फिर आईआईएम जाते.
Right. Then,
I think they'll be looked at on an equal platform. Right?
So anybody of you have to ask any other question, you're willing to come on video and ask it yourself, you can do that.
2 years executive MBA from IIM Kozhikode will be good. Yes, definitely. It will be good. Let's go for it. Is it advisable to pursue MBA immediately after CA, looking at the current situation of recession? See, again, my friend, if your pocket and your talent permits, go for it. Right? To some extent, I had to start supporting my family financially immediately after doing my CA. So I never got that chance of thinking कि हाँ मैं 3 साल 1 साल CAT prepare करूँगा फिर then 2 साल MBA karunga. I never got that option actually. If you have that, if you have money and talent backing you, go for it.
Piyush Agarwal asked this. I am a CA plus a CFA, 6 months into wealth management. Firstly, does it make sense to go for an MBA right away? If yes, then full-time or part-time?
No, I wouldn't recommend to go for an MBA right away. Maybe like since you have selected wealth management as your chosen area, maybe work for at least 2 to 3 years in that area and look around you, look around your seniors, how they have progressed, right? It could be the manager you're reporting to. It could be the VP who your manager is must be reporting to a VP or an AVP. Look at those people, observe those people, how they have progressed. And if that is a role that you are aiming for in the next 5 to 6 years, if you like that kind of a role, then see what qualifications they have done. They might have done CFA, they might have done FRM, we don't know. Right? So look for that, and if that is something which you like, then go for it. Otherwise, I would still recommend that wait for at least 18 to 24 months in this role, see what you are liking, and then decide.
Aishu has asked, for joining an investment banking job, is it advisable
Yeah.
to go for MBA finance?
Again, the answer would be, we have covered a full session on this investment banking. You guys can refer to that. Just the simple answer is that yes, if you are from a top tier B school, then it increases your chances, right? So if you can do that, then definitely go for it. Okay, Shreya, please connect a separate webinar on FP&A management consultancy roles and sales is required. Yeah, I'll try and do that.
Sir, I have interest in accounts. Could I go for CPA USA or Canada or MBA finance?
No, then I think you should go for CPA US. Accounts में अगर interest है तो definitely CPA US will be more helpful.
Yeah. Then there is no clear parameter of IIM selection if I do good in CAT, but academically I was average, and even in CA I cleared 6 attempts. I think he means that. So what
Those
do
all
you
things
think?
don't matter. Those all things don't matter at IIMs, right? So it's going to be a combination of your CAT, right? Your statement of purpose, like how your background has been, what has your experience has been, what your life experience has been. See, sometimes they look at people people who have depth in their experience, people who have depth in their background, real life experience in the classroom, right? So it's going to be your CAT percentile, how you do in your interviews, GD and your personal interview, and your statement of purpose. Like what has been your background? Why is it that you are the right person for getting into this class?
Right. Now, Shubham has also asked this. I think this question is helping everyone here. Qualified CA and non-qualified CA, they will have the same experience, but the pay package will differ. So when you mentioned about the skill set and the exposure in an executive MBA, does it apply equally to both of them?
See, first of all, certificate or no certificate, that's a different discussion altogether. I mean, see, to ask you a question, and would you go to a doctor who has the same skill set, but he's not really a registered medical practitioner? Would you go to a doctor like that? Experience of same है उसको, exams of same है. Or would you go to a doctor like that? No, right? So the reality of corporate world is that certificates are important. You can't run away from that. But having said that, if somebody who's a CA inter and an executive MBA, okay, if he has the right experience or the skill set, he might actually have that edge over a qualified chartered accountant. You never know.
Right. If
And
someone,
to some extent,
yeah.
guys, I know I'm not to some extent giving you straightforward answers. If you say, okay, which is the best MBA, there's no straightforward answer like this, right? So थोड़ा सा आपको black and white या binary answer, yes or no answer ढूंढना थोड़ा सा कर्व करना पड़ेगा. You have to curb that tendency to find for binary answers, और ये आपको बहुत ज्यादा काम में आएगा ये skill set, right, of being open minded and not looking for binary answers when you really get into senior management roles, right? Because senior management roles में ऐसा कोई yes or no नहीं रहता. There's stop searching for yes or no answers. There's no so that's why maybe I'm not able to answer some of the questions very directly or in a yes or no fashion, but that's how it is, right? There's no one scenario that fits everybody. There's no one formula that fits everybody. अगर CA MBA एक सक्सेसफुल कॉम्बिनेशन होता और सबके लिए सेम ही काम करता, आई वुड हैव एडवाइस कि वही करो, but ऐसा नहीं है. Somebody who has done CA from a top school also might still lag behind because of certain skill sets or lack of experience over somebody who has just done CA. right? Everybody's career is very individual in nature. Will industrial training give you an edge? uh, Again, depends on what you have done in that industrial training. अगर आपने कुछ एसओपीज बनाए हैं और कुछ ऐसा काम किया है जो अदरवाइज मैनेजर को आपसे नहीं करवाना था, right? तो फिर वो शायद काम ही नहीं आएगा, right? सिर्फ ब्रांड लेके कुछ नहीं होगा. इफ यू हैव डन इंडस्ट्रियल ट्रेनिंग इन एलएनटी, yeah, nice, it looks nice on resume कि हाँ, you have done industrial training from L&T or ITC or whatever it is, but have you really worked on something serious, right? Many times what happens is that people are absorbed in industrial training and they are treated करे इसको तो कुछ आता नहीं, इसको क्या काम देने का अभी. The manager is also in a dilemma कि इससे क्या काम करवाएं. So they might give you something very basic कि हाँ, ये SOP draft करो, standard operating procedure draft करो, you know do some basic analysis, थोड़ा सा pivot table डाल के दे दो. If your manager has treated you like that, then that honestly that's not going to give you any edge.
Right. Right. So, if someone wants to pursue teaching subjects, commerce and CA subjects, what is the path to get there?
See, teaching is a skill set again, right? So no matter what qualifications you have, it's not going to improve your teaching skills, right? It's a skill set. So the more you teach, the more you conduct training and teaching sessions, the better you will get at it, right? So if you have your chartered accountancy as a qualification and you want to start teaching commerce subjects, do that right away. Start right away, right? But however, if you want to become a teacher or a professor in any of these top B schools, right, then you need a full-time MBA or a master's degree. Plus, you will have to enroll for your doctoral program. Right? 5 years PhD is 5 years लगेगा PhD करने में. वो compulsory है to teach at IIM Ahmedabad or any of these top B schools. If your aim is to get into these kind of colleges as a faculty, then you should do your masters right away and aim for the PhD as soon as possible.
Okay. So,
but otherwise, teaching commerce subject, your chartered accountancy is more than enough.
Sarthak is asking, is internal audit field as good as compared to other typical CA fields, stat audit and taxation, if I'm thinking to get into a management role in the long run?
Yeah, why not? See, internal audit can give you a lot of business exposure, right? Business exposure data aapko, and you have to leverage that business exposure in your resume. Let me give you another example, right? If you are doing internal audit of an insurance company, let's say you are working, let's say, with PwC in internal audit department, and insurance company aapka client hai, right? So how can you utilize that business understanding about insurance industry in your next role? That also becomes very important. If you want to transition from an internal audit role to a business management or an FP&A kind of a role, try and do in that industry where you already have that exposure. It slightly becomes easier for you to do it. Yeah, and again, this field is good, that field is good. Don't worry too much about which field is good or that. Like for example, when you become a CFO, when you have 20 years of experience, when you become a CFO, everybody reports to you. Your internal auditor is reporting to you, your tax head is reporting to you, your compliance head is reporting to you, your company secretary is reporting to you, right? At that time, will you say कि अरे नहीं यार मुझे internal audit पसंद नहीं था तुम मेरे को मत report करो? Are you going to say that? No, right? So, and any profile you start with, at some point in time, you have to start looking at the bigger picture because all of them are going to come and report to you.
I think Shubham is here to ask his question. Yes, Shubham, please go on.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
we can hear you.
So wanted to ask you, just as you said, that the blend of WorkX and the certificate program that you would know after a period of time that you want to pursue, will it work for an experienced person? Because right now we can see that that as a fresher, you need a requisite qualification just to land into a good corporate or something.
Yeah.
So, wanted to ask that whether that certification work would suffice, or whether you would want to have to go to the MBA colleges for that matter.
Sorry, I didn't get a question, man. So you're saying, as an experienced professional, do you still require your MBA, or your experience plus these certification programs are good enough? Are you asking that?
Yeah. Because as you can see that at this point of time, as I'm a CA fresher, you require a full-fledged qualification to land into a corporate. So whether
so
at that point of time,
CA fresher is a good enough qualification to land a corporate role?
No, actually, I was just kind of comparing the two things. The one that if I am not a CA, then I would not get that pay, and as I become CA, although the skill set and all the things are there, but as I become CA, the pay changes and all the things all for that matter changes. So in the same line, for the experience with the experience, whether the executive certification program that you are talking about would suffice, or you would need an MBA to go for that matter.
So are you asking that, if somebody has not done CA but has experience, and will this certification program help them?
No. My straightforward question
sorry,
is,
man.
with CA,
yeah, sorry.
I can tell you in India as well. मतलब CA के साथ अगर सर्टिफिकेट मतलब वर्क एक्स लेने के बाद, CA करने के बाद, वर्क एक्स लेने के बाद, whether the certification program would suffice or whether you have to go for MBA, what the recruiters look forward for?
Again, depending on the requirement of the role as well, right? It's very dynamic. That's why I said don't think in very binary fashion that ये चाहिए या ये नहीं चाहिए. Suppose let's do an exercise. You are the hiring manager, ठीक है? आपके टीम में आपको एक बंदा चाहिए, और ये बंदे का सर्टेन स्किल सेट होगा, अगर आपके पास एक CA विद ये सर्टिफिकेट वाला प्रोग्राम विद द राइट स्किल सेट्स इंटरव्यू के लिए आता है, और एक CA MBA किया हुआ बंदा है बट उसके पास वो एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है जो आप चाहते हो, आप किसको लोगे? सर्टिफिकेट वाले को लोगे, राइट? क्योंकि आपके सब क्राइटेरिया में चेक हो रहा है, CA भी है, एक्सपीरियंस भी है, सर्टिफिकेट है, मतलब उसको कुछ तो उस सर्टिफिकेट से उसने नॉलेज उसको मिला होगा, राइट? दैट इज स्टिकिंग, राइट? दैट्स इट. सो इट इज रियली डिपेंडिंग ऑन द रोल रिक्वायरमेंट एज वेल, राइट? ऐसा कोई रोल नहीं है जहाँ पे यही चाहिए, there could be alternatives as well. What if there is only an MBA? What if there's only an MBA with the perfect skill set and the experience that you're looking for? 3 ऑप्शन है आपके पास. एक MBA है जिसके पास सब स्किल सेट्स और वोकेक्स है, एक CA और सर्टिफिकेट प्रोग्राम है प्लस, और एक CA और MBA तीनों है. आप किसको प्रेफरेंस दोगे? Maybe that MBA who has the perfect skill sets and qualifications that you're looking for, right? So it again depends on the industry need as well, right? Ultimately, ये आप मेरे को कुछ again it depends on the company, depends on the role, right?
Correct. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hi there.
Yes.
My question is, will I get the same exposure in learning in a virtual platform compared to the campus MBA? As if मैं अगर executive MBA के through जाता हूँ, तो I'll get classes on virtual basis, and I'll get around a 5 days campus visit. So
right.
Will it provide the same level of learning or to the campus?
Right.
Or 50% like campus?
Right. No, see, the learning is going to be the same, right? But what happens in an executive MBA and these kind of general management programs is that the quantum is going to slightly reduce because of the limitation of time, because everybody is a working professional, because everybody has to take out those 6 hours from the weekend, right? What they have done is they have compressed it. Like for example, अगर executive MBA में वो लोग 400 case studies discuss करते हैं across all subjects together, तो शायद AGMP में वो लोग 200 case studies discuss करेंगे, right? That's number one. Number two, of course, some of the projects and जो presentations होती हैं, like maybe weekly there will be some or the other presentation in an executive MBA, right? वो शायद यहाँ पे नहीं होता है, right? यहाँ पे we used to do monthly one presentation and sometimes it's going to be a team presentation. Like हमारे center में जो भी हैं, all of them come together and prepare a presentation, right? So the quantum is going to be lesser, but the learning is going to be more or less the same. Learning type is going to be the same, just that the quantity is going to be lesser.
Okay, Deval. Thank you, Deval. Thank you, Bhavna.
Yeah, Karthik, are you going to ask the next
Yeah.
question? Yeah,
Yeah,
please
yeah,
go
yeah.
on. Please go on.
Hi, Deval.
Yes.
Actually, I just wanted to ask that right now, just due to the pandemic, we are not getting the right opportunities. And if I'm getting an opportunity to, for a stat audit role for the global clients like US clients,
Right.
and when I don't have any scope of going abroad and settle down over there, so
Right.
should I, work for the same, or should I, switch my mind and be in some right now? Like,
Not really. So don't evaluate in such a binary thing. Okay. Again, let me give you a few things. Okay. First of all, let me give you some statistics. Okay. All these outsourced audit units or whatever you kind of a role that you are getting right now, okay, these are going to be in demand. Right? These are going to be highly in demand. India is going to be the youngest country by 2025, which means more and more work from other countries is going to come to India, right, in the coming days. That's why these offshore units are set up here. That's why they even sponsor you to do your CPA or all these kind of qualifications, because more and more work is going to come to India in the coming years, right? Which means that you will have a lot of lucrative growth opportunities within these kind of a setup. Let's say you join Deloitte US, where you're working on US clients and statutory audits and all of that. Don't right now think के हाँ अगर मैंने US का statutory audit किया तो मैं बाहर आके L&T का statutory audit कर सकता हूँ क्या? अभी ये मत सोचो आप, अभी ये मत सोचो, right? Within Deloitte USA also, there could be hundreds of lucrative opportunities. Within 2 to 3 years, maybe you will become a team leader. Maybe you are handling US clients. Later on, Deloitte USA wants to transition, let's say, clients from Poland to India.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe you will get to go to Poland to do that transition project.
Yeah.
Right? Don't you love that experience? Don't you? So what I'm saying is that you have to be a little bit open-minded about that experience and don't think of it in a very compartmentalized way. And if at all you have to come outside from these kind of companies and start working with, in regular roles, again, you can find some common threads. For example, आपने अगर US company का statutory audit किया, which means that you know US GAAP.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say there is an opening in IBM which is asking for a US GAAP experience. Of course, you can come outside and join IBM.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not a dead end. Unlike what people think के मतलब shared service या global setup में चले गए मतलब dead end. No, it can be the next lucrative opportunity. I'm telling you that by 2025, India will be the youngest country. All these shared services are the future.
Because right now, I'm like, from anyone I'm discussing this, they are like same thought. That
so
you will be switching from the Indian practice.
हाँ, वो जो anyone है ना, वो भी शायद तुमसे 2 साल बड़े होंगे.
Yeah.
Right? First, that's your answer. Speak to somebody who has worked for 10-15 years of experience. They can tell you what's the transition that has happened in the last few years, right?
Yeah.
Many people are very nervous about joining these KPO type setups. I have myself worked for 3 years in a KPO kind of a setup. Trafigura, जहाँ पे जिस company के साथ में काम करता था, it was a global commodity trading company, and here they had set up their global shared services center. 80 countries के ऊपर हम लोग यहाँ पे accounting करते थे, management accounting करते थे, right? We used to do everything here. And from there, I was able to transition into a traditional kind of a role. ऐसा कुछ problem नहीं है, right? Okay. Just that you have to find those common threads of experience. For example, if you're working in a global shared service setup and you're, let's say, you're leading accounts receivable team, ठीक है? क्या accounts receivable Indian company में अलग से बनता है और American company में अलग से बनेगा क्या? नहीं.
No.
Fundamental financial principles are going to be the same. So that 70-80% processes will be the same, no matter what accounting standard or what accounting rules you follow.
Yeah.
Right? अब सोचो 2025 तक सब कुछ ही IFRS होने वाला है. Even US GAAP भी IFRS हो जाएगा.
Yeah.
Right? तब तो ये और जो डिफरेंस है, राइट, ये इंडियन है, ये ग्लोबल है. मैं ग्लोबल में जाऊंगा तो मैं इंडियन में नहीं आ पाऊंगा. ये सब डिफरेंस मर्ज हो रहा है बहुत, राइट? सो विद इन 10 years down the line, maybe 10 years down the line, by 2030 you will not find something like a US GAAP. एक ही होगा ग्लोबली. So everybody can move from here and there. some company from Australia can also get work done from India. Some company from India can get their work done from Manila, right? You never know. So all this is going to happen. So from that point of view, shared services are the future. So don't worry too much about it right now. Get into these companies, gain the right exposure. Okay. The other thing what one should not forget is that you can always create some or the other reason to come out of there. For example, you enroll into an executive MBA or you enroll into a management certification. You can always, that can become your reason when you are giving an interview in some company. You can always say, okay, now that I've equipped with management qualification, I want to try for these management roles, which I'm not getting within Deloitte USA.
Yeah.
Fair enough. HR will understand, your boss should understand. अगर नहीं समझ आ रहा है तो कुछ प्रॉब्लम है सर.
Okay, thank you.
Should I wait for job I want or accept any job offer that comes my way now? Yeah, again, I'm saying that keep an open mind towards whatever job you're getting right now. Like I said, that you only have probably 3 or 4% visibility when you're doing your articleship. You never know, you might end up liking the role which you join, right? So why are you building that wall around you कि ये profile मिला तो ही मैं happy रहूंगा? And by the way, let me tell you कि somebody who has done 20-30 years of industry experience, who's a CFO, VP, वो कोई एक रोल करके उधर तक नहीं पहुंचा है, right? Always remember that the 20-year career में you are most likely you will end up doing 5, 6, 7 different kind of roles to reach that position, right? Which means that पहला जॉब अगर आपका desired role नहीं भी मिलता है, but एक अच्छे ब्रांड के साथ, एक अच्छे कंपनी के साथ आपको शुरू करने को मौका मिल रहा है, go for it, why not?
Pratik, are you going to ask your question? Pratik, can you hear me? Yes, please go on with your question. I'll just unmute you. Now you can ask your question.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. My question is that I'm doing now CA. I'm in CA final, and after that, after qualifying, I want to do MBA. So, will it, if I do distance or regular, will it impact anything for my job?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there is a world of difference between a distance MBA and a regular MBA, right? So if there is an option, and if you can go for a regular MBA, please go for a regular MBA.
Okay. Any other questions do we have? We are nearing the end of the session.
I can find one question from Shubham. Don't you find FP&A profile as monotonous, like every quarter on quarter? Due to this, I'm attracted to this profile. What's the truth? See, again, to some extent, every profile is going to be monotonous after 2-3 years, right? So that's why you should always keep looking for some or the other new thing every 3 years, every 2 to 3 years, right? So start. The best career advice I have got from director finance from BPCL when I joined my first day in BPCL. He mentioned to us something which I found it very interesting. Is that he said, look at your career in blocks of 2 to 3 years. बहुत ज्यादा दूर की मत सोचो अभी next 2 to 3 years में आपको क्या experience gain करना है. Okay, when you are ending that block of your 2 years or 3 years, look at what you want to do for the next 2-3 years, next block of 2-3 years, right? That's the visibility that we require right now. We don't want to 20 years down the line visualize करके कुछ फायदा नहीं है. Everything can change by then.
Right. Okay. So what do you think? Should we wind up here or?
Yeah, I mean, I think we can spend about 5 more minutes if you guys have any questions. Of course, you can always connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm always available to answer your question.
Okay.
Statutory audit in global setup, I think we have covered that.
So automation is happening at a great scale and a great speed. Do you think the employability of a CA in the industry will get affected? I mean, what are the profiles to look after if you don't want to be affected by that?
Right. Sorry guys, just 1 second. Yeah. Sorry, Bhavna, I missed your question.
So the question was that since automation is happening at such a great speed,
yes. Right. So, so robots आएंगे और सबका job ले लेंगे, right? So that's the biggest worry that everybody has, right? So let's go 40 years back. 40 years back when our parents were looking for jobs, उनको ये डर था कि कंप्यूटर आ जाएगा और जॉब ले लेगा सबका, एक कंप्यूटर 5 लोगों का काम कर सकता है. So that was a worry which people had. But कंप्यूटर आने के बाद in fact jobs बढ़ गए, right? In fact jobs increase हो गए, right? So financial and accounting skill sets, right, will always be in demand. Just that now we are working with Excel. Maybe tomorrow we'll have to start working with a robot, but we are still required to manage it, right? So to some extent, it will never happen that robots can 100% replace an accountant's job. It will never ever happen. And plus the kind of tax complications they are there in India, do you think a robot can pick that up? I don't think so.
That's actually very true. Okay. So we have Ashim asking that I am in a dilemma. I got a chance as a credit officer in a small finance bank in my city, and I got chance as an analyst in a big four. I can't decide where should I join. I want to move to foreign in future.
Then analyst in big four is a better option. See, to some extent, banking is a very specialized field. Okay, so if you want to become a banker or if you want a long-term career in a bank, then you should go for it, right? So my mother had worked for 20 years in a bank, and I was bored enough by the time I reached my 10th standard कि मैं ये decide कर लेता कहीं भी जाऊँगा लेकिन बैंक में नहीं जाऊँगा, right? So that's the background which I came from. But again, banking can be very lucrative. I have seen so many of my friends making very lucrative careers in corporate banking, right? So it's up to you. If you have some long-term intention of staying in a bank, join a bank. Otherwise, give it a skip.
Okay. Anybody who's asking anything else? I don't see any new questions. Okay, Ashim, I hope you got your answer. So, Ankur, yeah, okay.
Cool. Great, guys. I think you guys asked a lot of questions, right? And it's been fantastic to be here, right? Like I mentioned again, keep a little open mind. I keep saying this to everyone again. So I have done over 300 mentoring calls, one-to-one calls with with CA freshers and finance professionals. I have a website called trainforcorp.com. Let me type that in the message. There are a couple of online programs posted there, and you can go through them as well. They are free and you can take benefit of them. Again, I discussed a little bit about career guidance and how should you select your profile or how should you select your further qualification and all of that, right? So you can go through those programs as well and keep a little open mind. Be open-minded about opportunities. When I joined Bharat Petroleum, frankly speaking, I did not like my job for the first 6 to 8 months. I thought, यार इनको क्यों चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट चाहिए ये रोल के लिए, It was that kind of a reaction. But then again, when I started understanding the business, it started becoming interesting, right? So keep an open mind and don't try and conclude within a month or two whether you like something or not like something, right? And you should try and learn as much as possible from every profile you get, right? And सब कुछ use में होगा. You will be able to use everything that you learn. There's no profile which is a dead end on this earth.
Yes. Thank you so much, Dhaval, for agreeing to do this. I mean, it was a great session for me, for everybody who was here. And we learned so much from all of your experience, all of your conversations. And thank you so much for taking queries so patiently. I mean, going through every query and answering in detail. I mean, kudos to your patience. Thank you so much. Yeah, so
thank you for inviting me, Bhavna, and it's a great pleasure being here, and all the best, guys.
So
just
guys,
keep working on yourself, and
you can follow Dhaval on LinkedIn. He has sent his full name here, You can also search him on the LinkedIn search bar. You'll find him. He's a mentor to finance professionals as well. And like he mentioned, he has some courses that are there to help you all. You can take those courses. You can register on his website. They will be definitely very fruitful for you. Apart from that, yes, coming to the end of this 1 week series that we had for all CA professionals and finance professionals in general about what courses to take, what next path to pursue if you are confused in your life. It's coming to an end here, and I hope you all gained from it. I will be circulating a feedback form in the group. Please fill that. Even if you attended even one session, that would be useful to you, because we'll be coming up with many more informative sessions in the future, which will help you. It will help you stay updated. And yes, those who missed the earlier webinars plus this webinar, I'll be putting up a recording in the next week for all those webinars for the benefit of everyone who missed. They're free webinars. Watch them, and if you can, please watch all of them so that you can make an informed decision for your career. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for connecting with us. Thank you, Dhaval. Thanks again. And let's become better professionals together. All right. Bye-bye, everyone, and good night.